Hello students, today I am going to discuss about water quality criteria and standards. The quest for pure water dates back to antiquity. In modern times, it has led to formulation of specific standards to provide a basis for judging quality of water. These standards are exposure limits for bacteriological, viral, chemical and physical agents that have been adopted by governments or appropriate authorities or therefore have a legal force. The purpose of these standards is to minimize all the known health hazards since it is obviously impossible to prevent all the pollution. The World Health Organization has published in 2011 of guidelines for drinking water quality intended for use by countries as a basis for development of standards which, if properly implemented, will ensure the safety of drinking water supplies. And in order to define standards, it is necessary to consider these recommendations in context of prevailing environmental, social, economic, cultural conditions. These guidelines are intended to supersede the guidelines that have been given earlier in 1984. So, let me begin. The water quality criteria and standards has 4 aspects as per the guidelines of WHO 2011: acceptability aspects, microbiological aspects, chemical aspects and radiological aspects. In today's presentation, I am going to cover acceptability aspects. In next presentations, I am going to cover the rest of the 3 aspects of water guidelines. The second slide. Acceptability aspects are having two parts. That is, one is physical parameters, the second one is inorganic constituents. Physical parameters comprises of turbidity, color, taste and odor and temperature. Inorganic constituents are chlorides, hardness, ammonia, pH, hydrogen sulfide, iron, sodium, sulfate, total dissolved solids, zinc, manganese, dissolved oxygen, copper and aluminium. Next slide. Turbidity. Drinking water should be free from turbidity, and turbidity in water is caused by particulate matter. Consequences of inadequate treatment or from resuspension of sediments in the distribution may cause turbidity in water, and inorganic particulate in some groundwater bring turbidity, and turbidity interferes the disinfection and microbiological determination. Water with turbidity more than 4 nephelometric turbidity units, that is NTU, is usually noticeable to the naked eyes. One can easily make out that water is turbid. Next slide. Color. The drinking water should be free from color due to the presence of colored organic matter. Primarily, it is a humic substance. Metals such as iron and manganese or highly colored industrial waste can add colors to the water, and the guideline value is up to 15 true color units, that is 15 TCU, although the levels of color above 50 TCU can be detected in a glass of water. Next slide. Taste and color. Taste and odor. Taste and odor originate from natural and biological sources or processes, from contamination by chemicals or as byproducts of water treatment, maybe chlorination. Taste and odor may develop during storage and distribution. It is indicative of some form of pollution or malfunction during water treatment or distribution. The cause should be investigated, particularly if there is a substantial change in taste and odor. An unusual taste and odor might be an indication of presence of potentially harmful substances. No health-based guideline value has been given for taste and odor. Let us move on to temperature. Temperature, cool water is usually preferred and generally more palatable. Low water temperature tends to decrease the efficiency of treatment processes, including disinfection, and may thus have a deleterious effect on drinking water quality. High water temperature enhances the growth of microorganisms and taste, odor, color and corrosion problems may increase with increase in temperature of water. Here also there is no guideline value that is recommended for temperature. So let me discuss inorganic constituents now. The first one is chloride. All the waters including rainwater contains chloride. In the neighborhood of sea, the salinity of water tends to be high. Since the chloride content of water varies from place to place, it is necessary first of all to determine the normal range of chlorides of unpolluted surface and groundwater in the given locality. The standard prescribed for chloride is 200 mg per liter and the maximum permissible limit for chloride is 600 mg per liter. Next, hardness. I have discussed hardness in detail in a separate PPT, but still to repeat about hardness as it is important physical parameter, public acceptability of a degree of hardness may vary considerably. The test threshold for calcium ion in the range it ranges between 100 to 300 mg per liter. In some instances, water hardness exceeds 500 mg per liter and it is tolerated by consumers. But the prescribed range, as you are knowing, it is 50 to 100 mg per liter. Depending on the interaction of the other factors such as pH, alkalinity, water with a hardness approximately about 200 mg per liter may cause a scale deposition in the distribution system and it will result in excessive soap consumption and subsequent scum formation. On heating, the hard water forms deposits of calcium carbonate that gives a scaling. Soft water with a hardness less than 100 mg per liter may on the other hand have a low buffer capacity, so be more corrosive for water pipes. So the range for potable water is 50 to 150 mg per liter. Next slide. Ammonia. The term ammonia includes non-ionized, that is NH3 and ionized NH4. Ammonia in the environment originates from metabolic, agricultural and industrial processes and from disinfection with chloramine. Natural levels in ground and surface water are usually below 0.2 mg per liter. Anaerobic groundwaters may contain up to 3 mg per liter. Intensive rearing of farm animals can give rise to much higher levels in surface water. Ammonia contamination can also arise from cement mortar pipelines. Ammonia in water is an indicator of possible bacterial, sewage and animal waste pollution. Next, pH. One of the main important objective in controlling the pH is to minimize the corrosion and incrustation in the distribution system. The pH level less than 7 may cause a severe corrosion of the metals in the distribution pipes and elevated levels of certain chemical substances such as lead may result. At pH levels above 8, it is progressive decrease. There is a progressive decrease in the efficiency of a chlorine disinfection process. An acceptable pH of the water which is potable ranges between 6.5 and 8.5. In the absence of distribution system, the acceptable range of the pH may be broader. Next, hydrogen sulfide. The taste and odor threshold of hydrogen sulfide in water are estimated to be between 0.05 and 0.01 mg per liter. The rotten egg odor of hydrogen sulfide is particularly noticeable in some groundwaters and in stagnant drinking water in the distribution system as a result of oxygen depletion and subsequent reduction of sulfate by bacterial activity. Sulfide is oxidized rapidly to sulfate in well aerated water, and hydrogen sulfide levels in oxygenated water supplies are normally very low. The presence of hydrogen sulfide in drinking water can be easily detected by consumer and requires immediate corrective action. Next slide. Iron. Anaerobic groundwater may contain ferrous ion ferrous iron at a concentration up to several milligrams per liter without discoloration or turbidity in the water when directly pumped from the well. On exposure to atmosphere, however, the ferrous iron oxidizes to ferric iron, giving an objectionable reddish brown color to the water. Iron also promotes the growth of iron bacteria, which derives their energy from oxidation of ferrous iron to ferric iron and in the process deposits a slimy coating on the pipe. At level above 0.3 milligram per liter, iron stains laundry and plumbing fixtures. Next slide. Sodium. The test threshold concentration of sodium in water depends on the association anion and the temperature of the sodium. At room temperature, the average test threshold for sodium is about 200 milligram per liter. Next parameter is sulfate. The presence of sulfate in drinking water can cause noticeable taste. The taste impairment varies with the nature of associated cation. It is generally considered that taste impairment is minimal at levels below 250 mg per liter. It has been found that addition of calcium and magnesium sulfate but not sodium sulfate to distilled water improves the taste. Optimum taste was recorded at 270 and 90 mg per liter for two compounds respectively. Next slide. Total dissolved solids. Total dissolved solids can have an important effect on tastes of the drinking water. The palatability of the water with a TDS level less than 600 mg per liter is generally considered to be good. Drinking water becomes increasingly unpalatable at TDS level greater than 1200 mg per liter. Water with extremely low concentration of TDS may be unacceptable because of its flat, insipid taste. The presence of high level of TDS may also be objectionable to consumers owing to excessive scaling on the water pipes, heaters, boilers and household appliances. Water with concentration of TDS level below 1000 mg per liter is usually acceptable to the consumers. Next slide. Zinc. Zinc imparts an undesirable astringent taste to water. Tests indicate a taste threshold on the concentration of 4 mg per liter as a zinc sulfate is good. Water containing zinc at a concentration in excess of 5 mg per liter may appear opalescent and develop a greasy film on boiling. Although these effects may also be noticeable at concentration below 3 mg per liter. Drinking water seldom contains zinc at concentration above 0.1 mg per liter. Levels in tap water can be considerably higher because of the zinc used in plumbing material. Next slide. Manganese. Manganese concentration below 0.1 mg per liter are usually acceptable to consumers. This may vary with local circumstances. At level 0.1 mg per liter, manganese in water supplies stains sanitary ware and laundry and causes an undesirable taste in beverages. It may lead to accumulation of deposits in distribution system. Even at concentration of 0.2 mg per liter, manganese will often form a coating on pipes which may slough off as a black precipitate. Next slide. Dissolved oxygen. Dissolved oxygen content of the water is influenced by the raw water temperature, composition, treatment and any chemical or biological processes taking place in the distribution system. Depletion of dissolved oxygen in the water supplies can encourage microbial reduction of the nitrate to nitrites and sulfate to sulfide, giving rise to odor problems. It can also cause an increase in concentration of ferrous ion in solution, and here for dissolved oxygen no health based guidelines has been recommended. Next slide. Copper. The presence of copper in drinking water may interfere with the intended domestic use of water. It increases the corrosion of galvanized iron and steel fittings. Staining of the laundry and sanitary ware occurs at a copper concentration above 1 milligram per liter. Last parameter is aluminum. Presence of aluminum at concentration in excess of 0.2 milligram per liter often leads to deposition of aluminum hydroxide in distribution system and exacerbation of discoloration of water by iron. So this is about the acceptability parameters. In the next slide, I have given the substances and the parameters in drinking water and the reasons for consumer complaint in a form of chart. You go through the table, the constituents or parameters in the first column, and in the second column level to likely give rise to consumer complaints, and in the third column reasons for consumers complaint. So today it is about acceptability aspects. Thank you, one and all.